Giles County got a big lead in the first half, which we were really excited about that, but they dropped to 0-6 as Kenwood gets the come-from-behind win. Wade Neely with the X Sports Radio Network out of Pulaski joins us. He called that game for the X Sports Radio Network out of Pulaski's WKSR. Wade, tough loss tonight for Giles County.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Weave. You kind of touched on it. Giles County on a dark and drizzly night in Clarksville, Tennessee, against an unknown opponent. They just fell flat on their face in the first quarter. Rebounded nicely, though, in quarter number 2. They scored 15 unanswered points. They took a 15-12 lead at halftime. But in the third and fourth quarters, things kind of just unraveled, and Giles County just was unable to put together the kind of final few moments that you need to win these big games. It kind of eluded them all season, and it unfortunately eluded them again tonight on a tough one.
On a dark and dreary, somewhere Hemingway just got goosebumps. Yeah, what a turn of phrase.
Setting the scene.
I'm telling you what, you paint a picture, my friend. That's why you're the best in the business. Wade Neely for Giles County joins us. When is the last time, Peter and I talked about this in the pregame show, when is the last time that Giles County started out, much less 0-6, but even 0-5?
Yeah, we're trying to go back through the records and find this ourselves, but we've got to go back at least, and unfortunately, we're having to go back further and further every week. But right now, we're working with an operating theory of somewhere in the early 90s, 91, maybe 92. There were some really bad Giles County teams in the mid-2000s. Unfortunately, I played on one or two of those bad teams. But Giles County was not known for their football prowess in the early 2000s. But since then, they kind of turned it around. But even in those early 2000 years, they had a couple of wins sprinkled in, but right now it's just like one of those bad cycles where they just can't get off the schneid, if you will. Nothing going right for Giles County.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. I know that when you get into a situation where you're not winning, do the kids begin to really forget how to win? Does it feel like when you're watching the games that the kids are just really desperate to figure out a way to win?
It almost kind of gets that feel. My broadcast partner Brent Nelson and I were talking about that just a couple of moments ago, and it's almost like Giles County used to learn how to win those games, and they have, even within the last couple of years. But this particular season, it's those wins have kind of just eluded them. They were right there in this game tonight. They had every chance to win it, and a couple of big plays went against them. They had a pick six late in the ball game, which really kind of put things away. And they're just kind of in a rut right now. They're making some big plays, and their senior running back Jordan Tucker. He's arguably an all-state candidate, but he's going to get lost in the shuffle, I'm afraid, because of the record for Giles County. I mean, this is a kid that could flirt with 1,500, 1,600 yards this season, but right now, just things that are going against the Cats, and until they get off the schneid, it's going to be a tough season this year.
Dennis Weaver, Josh Peterson talking to Wade Neely from the X Sports Radio Network on the Friday Night Thunder Scoreboard Show.
Well, Wade, let's talk a little bit about some of the dynamics of that group. I mean, I don't want to keep pounding on the fact that they're winless, but I mean, is this a young team, a team that brings a lot back next year? Is there a lot to look forward to, or is it a team that just hasn't really been able to get it together?
Yeah, they're going to say goodbye to a couple of really talented seniors. I mentioned Tucker. He's going to be a good one that's leaving. They've got a stud linebacker, Boone Gibson. He's been a 4-year starter, or pretty much a 4-year starter. He's going to be gone. They've got a couple other kids that are going to be gone, but they've got a pretty good nucleus coming back. And Coach Smith has told us several times that he thinks their freshman class, who they're finally starting to see some reps. They started a true freshman quarterback tonight, Mr. Gray Weiser. They've got a very talented freshman class. Coach Smith said maybe pound for pound one of the best classes that he's had since his time here in Giles County. So it's not exactly, bleak just yet in the horizon, but at least in terms of this current season, they've really been a struggle. But there is some hope going forward for these guys.
All right. Who you got next week, Wade?
Cats are going to be at home versus Spring Hill, and we've tried to do some arithmetic on the road here, and it's basically going to be, it's not a must-win necessarily, but it's one of those, where if you lose, you're hoping that some other teams lose and those types of scenarios. So Giles County, for all intents and purposes, playing for their playoff lives. Next Friday at home versus Spring Hill, a lot of folks predicted Spring Hill to win this region. They're hungry for wins as well, so who knows what's going to happen next Friday.
I'd say desperation will be the key of the night. Good luck in the preparation for that. Be safe driving home, okay?
I will. Gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for the love. We're a blast. So excited to be part of Exports Radio Network and continuing our coverage with you guys.
All righty. Thanks a lot, Wade. We appreciate it as always. Wade's one of those pros, you know.
Oh, he does a good job.
He really does.
Looking forward to listening to a lot of his games tonight. I didn't get to, unfortunately.